what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
So then let's talk about the big problem. Then. What's the big problem with black kids not being able to read? Is it more because the funding to schools is being cut decade after decade after decade, half and half every year, every 10 years?
That's not the issue. That's not the issue.
Education not being funded, and the reason why America
perfect example. It's anecdotal, but we'll just use DC. A lot of people like to use DC. DC has been black ran for how many years?
The city of DC?
Black mayor, black school superintendent, overwhelming majority black city councils, school board members. How long has that been going? A few decades. It's not better. They asked for more money. They got more money. What happened? Nothing. This happens in quite a few.
You're saying that as if
cities.
I don't have the numbers to back how their education.
No. Listen, go look it up. Though.
But I can use a broader brush and paint all of American kids. When we were in 2007, number 17 in education, and now we're number 34 by comparison with other nations. So all I'm saying is, if you're gonna say black people are suffering from like poor education and stuff like that, let's look at the big picture. What's your excuse for a kid in Mobile, Alabama?
Not worried about the kid in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, so
hold on. Is this kid black? Is this kid black?
No, it's white. But maybe it's
I'm not talking about Timmy. I'm not talking about.
So then we can admit that it's not about race. Then it's about the.
No, it's 100% about race. It's 100% about. To me, it's 100% about.
But you said Timmy's grades being low is.
No. I'm not talking about him. I don't have statistics for white kids. I have statistics for black kids. I'm not talking about white kids.
So then with the black kids, we know that it is clearly a lack of socioeconomic development, because kids who grow up with better socioeconomic development have a better opportunity in this country to progress in the educational world.
We agree. But so this is the problem. No, this is the issue. The public school system is trash. It's never going to get fixed. That's the issue. There's things. This is the problem with black people. We are a no. This is what black people need to do. Honestly, if you do not have a skill that no one can take away from you, then you will be permanent underclass. You will be a permanent underclass in this country. Black people have the most retail and unskilled labor jobs in this country. When those go away, what will black people do?
Evolve.
If we haven't evolved in 60 years, we're not going to. That's what I'm saying. We have not yet. We need to go back to the thing that made black communities great. Skills, trades, barters. I learned how to read at home out of a college encyclopedia by my mother, who sat down with me and made me do it. Whenever I ask my mother a question, hey mom, what does this word mean? Go grab the dictionary. Do you know how to spell it? No ma'am. This is how you spell the word. Look it up. Read me the definition. What does it say? Okay, go write it down in your notebook. That's what she used to make me do. We don't have that kind of sense anymore to make our kids do that. My grandmother had a physician's desk reference on the bookshelf. Whenever I got sick or had an ailment, hey grandma, what is influenza? Go get the PDR. Hey, what is inflammation? Go get the PDR. What is a patella? Go get the PDR. That was how it was. Where is that? All I'm saying is, where is that enrichment at home, number one, instead of letting your kids play on their cell phone or tablet or watch TV all day?
Once again, there's no correlation. In fact, it shows the complete opposite, that kids that grow up with technology in-house have better reading scores than kids who don't. You want to blame something, and you've admitted that it is a socioeconomic thing, and you also admitted that me and you are in different categories, so what it took to get you to the level that you're at might not work for the vast majority. We're talking about what's going to help the majority of black kids in this country step up.
Public school is not the public school system.
But but that is literally all they can afford.
You know what? But here's the problem.
And why isn't it going to work? Because they don't want to put the money needed.
That's not
Eric,
it.
Eric,
We have plenty of
no,
cities and counties where
Eric,
they've
no,
dumped money, and the
no,
kids are no better.
no.
The issue
You're using
have
anecdotal.
have you worked
Show
in a
me
high
this.
school, Hero? Have you taught in a high school?
Have I taught in high school? I've
Yes.
been a
Taught.
substitute in high school,
How long?
just 2 years. But I mean, I was
Okay.
young as
No, no,
shit.
no. But no, let me ask you. This is perfect because you and I have done the same thing. Did you ever do any administrative work?
No.
Okay. Did you did you guys have standardized tests
Yes.
to get out of high school?
To get out of high school, besides the ACT.
No, 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 no. Like, if you don't pass this state issued test, you cannot get out of high school. Did you
What
have
state
that?
implements that?
It's here in Texas.
And
The STAR test, it used to be toss,
and
and then it
and,
got changed
and
to
what
CAS,
and
and
I
it's the
love that you
STAR.
brought that point because guess who else? Guess what university stopped accepting standardized tests 2 years ago?
Ooh,
Harvard,
I wonder why.
because it proves that having a standardized test doesn't really paint a proper picture of a
And
student's future.
exactly, but you and I agree there. We're not that point. We're not arguing. That point we agree on. But what I'm saying is, having been in a state that mandates that you must pass this cumulative standardized test, even though you've done 12 years and your teachers have marked you off as competent in all areas of study, if you don't pass this test, then you can't get out. So what do the teachers end up doing? And I'm only saying this because these are conversations I've had with the administrators and the teachers. Eric, I don't spend my time teaching anything of
Okay,
substance.
but
All I do is teach people to think.
is that the fault of the kids or the fault of the state trying to
I'm
rear children?
but Hero, that we're agreeing here. This is the
No, no,
problem.
no,
The
no, no, no,
state,
no, no,
this
no,
no, listen, hold on,
no,
let me
no, no.
finish
I
because
I know
the
what you want to say.
state,
The state is the people, like the legislators, like the politicians. But if you had an education board like California has, like Illinois has, where educators make these decisions versus the governors and legislators, then you don't run into this situation.
but we don't have that here in
So
Texas. I
that's
don't
what
know
y'all
how,
need.
but I don't know that about other states.
That's how
I've
it was in
never, I didn't.
Illinois.
But again, that sounds smart to me. Obviously, it worked for you, but we don't have that here in Texas. Everything is run by the TEA, Texas Education Administration. These are legislators. They determine what is and what isn't. This is what you need to get out.
But
Instead
that's
of
also
saying,
why.
"Hey,
That's
Hero." Okay, perfect example. Me. What do you think I got on my SAT?
well, I don't know what the range is anymore.
Back when you and I were taking it, it was 0 to 1600. It's not the same range anymore. What did you get on your SAT?
I took the ACT. It was 0 to 36.
What did you get on your ACT?
ACT, I got 24.
Which is a great score. Okay, I took the SAT. A good score is over. At the time I took it was over 1100. I
Oh,
got
I
an
would have paid
eight.
you.
I got it, and you got 400 points for signing your name. I scored an 890 on the SAT. Is that representative of my cognitive ability?
No.
You and I agree that standardized tests are bullshit, but this is what's happening. At least here, I got to speak for here. This is what's happening, and you
And I
know what
could,
I saw?
and from your perspective, I could see why you would detest public school.
Yeah,
But I think,
it's
but I
horrible.
feel like if you went to my public school, you got to see my public school for 24 hours. You got to
That shit
see.
was great. That was great.
So you mean
That
to
didn't.
tell me?
I never seen it. I never seen that.
So you mean to tell
That's
me?
why you. Why do you think why I was so shocked? Because I literally never seen it in my
So can
entire
you?
life.
So can you now understand why I'm of the mindset where I was like, if these teachers in this school district requested more money, we should give it to them because I literally know what the result is. You could literally have an NFL player come back 2 years later, and I mean 20 years later, and help you raise $23,000. Hell yeah.
That sounds commendable. That's not how
That's
it
why.
goes here. And
That's why. But that's why I would push to have more boards designed like schools that I went to.
I'm a little bit more aggressive about that. I'm saying I want to build a school. It's on my to-do list for my life. It would be 6th to 12th grade. probably I thought about making it all boys, but I was like, yeah, I kind of want to keep that ratio 50-50 boys to girls. But what I want to do is have accelerated math and science programs. And then I want to have all the IT. So information systems, database administration, network administration, all kinds of coding, all kind of security, like IT security type stuff, hacking. I want to have all that, metal shop, wood shop, mechanic stuff, carpentry, woodworking, the whole bit there, construction, plumbing, electrician, you know, I don't even want to bring barbering in. I'll go find some other skill like rad tech, surgical tech, like stuff that we know we could do. I want to keep the chitlin stuff out of there. At least initially, if I did or have a very small program, so everybody and their mama wouldn't try to go to cosmetology. But yeah, just like those kind of built-in skills, you're still gonna get all of your basic foundations. Low key, you might have end up getting a GED and finishing at like 15, 16. 2 years of college. You have your associate's degree. You walk out of here. You have a skill or a trade certificate, and you can go be your own person, contributing member society, paying to the tax base. That's what I'm thinking. This whole thing is our community is gonna be better when we have people who have tangible skills that can build and produce and create, and not just keep throwing money at getting people to read a textbook or take home a worksheet. Like that stuff's not really helping our communities at all. And the best of us that do well don't ever go back, and that's a problem. So if we give people a skill and get them educated and say, hey, your skills are for you to build your community. Some of those people will leave, but the overall majority of people probably won't. They'll stay there and they'll help us build the community. I mean, I'm thinking like on that kind of level, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a good idea. Only time will tell.
I don't think it's necessarily about if it's a good idea or if it's a bad idea. I think it's about what we, me and you can't dictate how kids are going to school. And we know for a fact that more people are going to college than ever. So the question is, once they get out of college, what can we get you prepared to do next?
Nothing, because they don't have a tangible skill. They just have a degree. More than the overwhelming
Yeah,
majority of them have a degree.
but hopefully, if they have like appropriate skill set, then they can go out and get those
But
things.
Hero, they don't. That's the thing. We're not giving them any skills in the way the school system is set up from junior high
But
through college.
that's not. I
A
don't think
lot
that's
of
a
these,
fair
a lot of
representation
these.
because that's what internships are for. Like I got several internships, and that's how I figured out
But
my career path. That's
again,
something.
Hero,
That's part of your senior
conflate
year.
conflating what you were able to
That's
conflating what
literally
you
a
were able
step
to
in
do
your
with
senior
the
year,
vast
though.
majority
Now,
of people will be thinking.
but I mean, that's available
Ag-
to every college student. Internships are available widely. You can intern at any. How did Taufik get his job? He didn't apply to Microsoft. He interned there, and then they hired him right out the door.
Yeah, and what was Taufik studying?
He was studying
Was
chemical
his
engineer before he switched over to electrical engineering, and then program management.
okay? So he went from chemical engineer to electrical engineer. Where do those rank in the top 10 jobs in this country? You know what? I already gave it away. They're already in the top ten
Top 10.
career fields in this country. Okay, so Taufik, again, that's STEM though. That's go find me one of these humanities people who could go do the same thing.
I mean, what's her name? I want to say Jill Scott, but that's not her name. But the woman who speaks on humanitarian activities and is now part of the UN. That's something to aspire towards. To go on mission statements, we need those type of people. Humanitarians are needed in this world.
Yes, but here's the deal: a lot of black people do not choose the STEM. They choose humanities. They choose
The
business
but we
admin. Even
know.
look at me. I'm doing business admin,
But I think
not because it's my choice at 18, because it's a necessity at 34. That's a different thing. I'm already a director. I already make six figures. That's different from being 18 years old and deciding to go get a business degree with no business. and nobody tell you how to start one. Like, you don't even learn a lot of these things. You learn how to manage a business, but starting one and getting into it, and it's just a lot that goes into it that we're not considering. And I'm telling you, if black people had tangible skills that no one could take away, we could always build our own communities. The problem is now we're so dependent on everybody else that doesn't look like us to build. If we want a house built, there's not that many black people that can build. We're expecting Jesus and his people to come build it for us. If we need protection, if we need justice, we're not calling the people that look like us. We're calling people that don't look like us to come protect us and give us justice. That's what I'm saying. We're not producers, we're consumers, and we have nothing as a group of people. What is it that we export to the rest of the world? In my
Culture.
opinion, it's foolishness. Foolishness.
Culture.
Foolishness. Same difference.
No, because you wouldn't say that about it.
Bitches.
You wouldn't say that about Irish people.
I'm saying the thing black as a you said called twerking,
which is a traditional African dance,
liquor,
which
weed
is which is
smoking.
something that weed, which comes straight from the earth, and also liquor is something that we brewed in our national land. Like, why if would it be different if it was being done in Africa?
It'd be the same to me.
So
It'd be
once
the
again,
same.
when Irish people have their gin and they have their Scottish kilts and they're flapping up and down.
I'm not Irish.
Okay, but I'm saying if you can't say that about another race,
I'm not
then
Irish.
you have a
I
prejudice
don't care.
against.
I don't care.
But you have a prejudice against people who are just trying to live their best life, and they are black. It sounds strange.
If that's their version of their best life, it's terrible. But Hero, you're 100% correct. I have a problem. If that's your version of your best life, and black people are not growing and not moving forward as a aggregate, we have a huge problem. We have a huge problem. We do not, as a aggregate, besides quote unquote what you call culture and I call foolishness, contribute anything of substance to society.
We
All
made
we do
peanut
is
butter.
take.
We made the light bulb. We
No,
made. I mean, we could go
how
down a
long
list of
ago?
black
How
inventors.
yeah,
Vivian Thomas.
yeah.
I mean, we have inventors. So
How long ago was that?
I mean, you want to talk about new inventors? Because we
Please.
have Just Joy on here. She's an entrepreneur who has a skill set
She's an entrepreneur. Yes. Again,
in
out
cosmetology.
of 40 million. One out of 40 million.
Okay, but what about all the teachers that brought on? We have
These are
Dr.
but hero. Hold on, bro. These are people you know. These are
So,
people you know.
and going to
These
my
are
point.
and the other people, and then again, these are people that you know. These
So
are people that
then,
I know that come
so
on the
in
show.
getting more to
These
my point,
people,
for 24 hours, you were with me watching my people come in, come out, and seeing all this thing. Maybe you just need to change your perspective. Instead of you looking back at the people we're trying to bring along, you face forward and wait for someone to walk. Because
wait for someone to walk up beside me.
and give them the push they need to move forward.
No, leaders lead from the front.
I
So
think leaders
people
can lead
always
from the
people.
pack as well.
No, leaders lead from the front. Is actually the definition of the word lead. You lead from the front. People
Yeah.
need to see assholes and elbows from you, and hopefully that will encourage them. My word
So
for the
who's
day,
the leader?
overwhelming
Who's the
majority.
leader on the trenches? In the trenches, when everyone's elbows are when you're all elbow deep, you can lead from the pack. It's possible.
No,
All right. I mean,
you don't.
because when I was out there in the trenches, that's how we did it.
No, there was a legitimate. Okay, perfect. When you say trenches, what do you mean trenches?
On the front line.
You talking about a football field?
Yeah,
Who was the leader of the defense?
me.
At UAPB or when you played for the Giants? Who was the leader of the defense?
In the defense, it was probably the defense was Mike
Okay. And where was Mike?
behind the front
Okay.
line. Michael
You talking? Are
Strahan
you
was behind the front line.
Michael Strahan was he a defensive end or outside linebacker?
He played outside, but he was still the leader of the defense.
He's okay. In the locker room, who on the defense? Who was the leader? Was it still Michael?
Yes,
And how did Michael lead? Did he lead with words or did he lead with action?
both.
So he knew when to use words, but what is it? What did his actions dictate to you?
Anytime Michael wanted to show me something that I did wrong in the play, he showed it to me in action. But I learned how to do my position effectively by learning on the front line with him. And that's when he literally uttered the words to me. Some leaders got to lead in the pack because I was always afraid to dive in, but he was always willing to drive in the pack. There's power in numbers is what I'm getting to you to see. Like a lot of what you're complaining about is you're complaining about people who have already made a decision. Focus on the people who haven't made a decision yet.
Like a lot of these people have made decisions to engage in
And,
foolishness
and my question is, why is that your priority?
because this is not moving the group forward. It's actually a
If
hindrance to the group.
if you're looking backwards, you're never going to see the progress that other people are making.
Oh, I'm not looking backwards. These images keep popping up in my face.
And once again, these are people that have made their decision. So I'm asking you, for every sideways person we've come across or made a bad decision, how many young bucks in XYZ have you tried to put? Like, your primary focus should be more on getting people who are trying to move forward there versus trying to
Oh,
figure out
I
how.
am. That's why we started a football team. That's why I'm mentoring people at my job. I'm doing exactly that. Those who want to go can go, and those who don't won't. I understand that, but it doesn't change the fact that these people who are doing these things are in the freaking way. They're in the way. They need to move. They gotta go.
There's nobody, especially for us. Literally, nobody is in our way other than ourselves.
Oh, for you and I won't disagree. But for the people who have not gotten to the mental state that we have, these things are in the way. I'm smart enough to turn off images that I don't want to see. I'm smart enough not to waste time on TikTok. I do what I need to do. I get off. I have no problem not wasting time on Facebook and Instagram because I do what I need to do. I get off. Like I'm not going to do that. But for other people, it just this is what you do. Like we gotta get, especially the brothers, man. We do not have. First of all, there's 2 million less black men than there are black women. Black women are marrying black men when they do marry, the overwhelming majority, but not staying married. And the black men that are getting divorced have no idea why they're getting divorced. We need to raise the standard for the black men so that we can
Getting
get the
married isn't
overwhelming
going to
majority of these.
solve black people problems.
I didn't say it was. This is one issue that we have. We're not together. See, the thing that marriage represents is unity. It represents a community. It is
It
togetherness.
represents a male patriarchy.
And that's why you're not married, Hero, and probably won't get married. I don't think you want to be married. I really don't. Because you can't say that out of your mouth and then say you want to be married. I really don't think you will.
I can say I want to be married without the idea of having some resonance overhauling idea of virtuistic idea of some old adage. I
Nah,
can
man.
be married.
But you're not. Listen, you're talking. Listen, you said you're married for what?
I can marry someone without having some old adage patriarchy dictating.
But now I heard that part. But what about the love part? What
I
did you say
can
about
marry
that?
somebody just strictly because I love them.
That's not why you get married. You shouldn't get married.
I mean, if you okay, and once again, you can't dictate how and why people do something. You can
That's not
say
the-
that for you can say that for yourself.
marriage.
But if I choose to get married to somebody because I love them, and someone frowns upon me for that, that's not for me to worry about. Furthermore,
Yeah.
our generation is staying together longer than our older
And
parents.
I would. I definitely would.
So I don't understand.
Man.
Like, if we're getting better, then why does it matter? And for me, I can.
We're not. We're not getting.
We are literally getting better. There are more black people. There are more successful black people today than there were 10 years ago. There are more educated black people than there were 10 years ago. We are getting better.
Okay, cool. Are there more successful and educated black people than there were 100 years ago?
Yes.
Percentage wise.
Mathematically wise.
Mm-mm.
Literally every single person that understands 8th grade physics is smarter than Einstein right now.
Again, but we got over 50% of black people in this country read at or below.
And do you see what I'm saying? What do? You attack the people who are suffering instead of you to focus on the people who are pushing. Because ultimately, if we want to fix those 50%,
I don't know. I didn't. First of all, I didn't attack them. I'm stating a fact. I didn't say that they're the sole reason why they read at or below a 5th grade level. I never said that.
No, okay. So
like
then
why?
What?
So if you're talking to me, don't come at me with the woke bullshit. Let's just have a straight talk. I'm not attacking these. I'm not. But it is. It is, bro. Like I'm having a straight conversation with you. I'm not attacking them for the reason why they're in the status that they're in. For their education.
You are attacking them because you know why they're in that position. You know why they're in that position.
That's your perspective. I'm telling you. I'm not attacking them. You're saying that we've already said that because they have it's in a broken system that they need to get out of because it's not beneficial. You say leave them in the broken system, just throw more money at it. I say get them out.
I say get them into a proper system. A system that actually cares about educating. A system that doesn't consist of telling people that slaves were indentured servants.
So how do you get them a proper education without taking them out?
By actually using educational boards to dictate how education should be ran in this country versus legislators.
That's happening though. That's happening.
It is, and these students are getting better, and pushing forward. That's why we
okay. I'm gonna use your city. I'm gonna go look up all the data and statistics about your city.
Sure,
since you guys have a different way to do it than I have here, and then I'm gonna go look at the black kids and I'm gonna compare them to everybody else. I'm gonna go look at all the people who are running the black school districts and comparing to every other city and county, and then we'll see what the data says.
Absolutely.
And I know it's going to say the same thing it says in any other major city. And I'm saying, so if it's black people who are setting the policy in a shitty system, how can we expect these black kids to ever get any better?
And once you
not as many as could
and
be.
Eric, and please, when you find an all black municipality that is also responsible for the educational board, the city council, the student council, and academic and revenue board, please send that to me. Please.
Perfect. That will be easy.
Because trust me, if black people truly had control over their own demographics and politics in this country, we would long be surpassing them. But once again, we are better.
How do you get that control? How do you get the control, Heero?
Well, one, you got to stop white supremacy in its tracks, and then two, you got to make sure that you have a base to establish. So we need to make sure that the people that we have elected into these positions have a vested interest in seeing liberated black people.
And that's where we defer there. I'm not worried about that. Black people need to go and take care of black people because nobody else is coming to save us.
What you're asking for is not realistic. The world, this America at least, is never going to be ran by predominantly black people. We will have the ability to uplift ourselves and do one of two things in this country: conform to their policies and norms, or take our education and power back to our homeland.
I just want peace of mind.
Hey, listen, and I'm not opposed to the second option at all.
The closest thing
to me that
control the country is 45 when a dominant race
don't care who's wrong or right. I hope that slow it down and we can catch the vibe. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibe.